Another app that you need to utilize and be able to utilize is the Google Calendar app. And when you open up a new tab, you can find Google Calendar by going to the little 9 dots next to your picture over in the right-hand corner where it says Google Apps. You click on it and Google Calendar should just be in there. So click on Google Calendar and it'll open up all of your calendar stuff. Now, one thing that it asks you to do is to create a calendar. And the way you do that is you go to the left-hand side. Okay, this right here creates an event, not a calendar. Okay, so we don't want to do that. We don't want to use that create button. On the left-hand side, if you scroll down just a little bit, you'll see where it says other calendars. You can add that calendar, or you can push the little plus sign next to other calendars and then create new calendar. Then you give your name, you give your calendar a name and a description. So what is this calendar going to have in it? What kind of events are you going to have? And then you create your calendar. Now, it does take you a while. It does take it a while to generate your new calendar, but it'll get there. You can go back to settings and that calendar will pop up right over here somewhere. Okay. So while we're waiting for it to pop up, it should be any second now. I'll go ahead and show you how to add an event. So there it goes. On the left-hand side, you can see GCE practice. So what you're going to do to add an event is let's add tennis tryouts to my tennis calendar. Okay, so we're going to go to the month. So you can scroll through the month on the left-hand side over here with these little arrows and click on the date if you know the date for sure. Or you can go up here with these arrows at the top and go week by week. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add an event to October 19th. And that event will be men's tennis tryouts. Okay, you're going to adjust the time. So here's where you would adjust the time. Make the event for 2 hours. You can add guests. So you can invite your parents, or they can find it themselves, or just you need all your parent emails for that one. You can add a location. So you can add a room number or a location. So we'll say New Hope City Park. Okay. We don't want to add conferencing. You can add a description. But right here, this little calendar button, I don't want to add this to my regular everyday calendar. I have a tennis calendar. So you click on that button and it'll take you to all of the calendars that you have, and you select the calendar that you want to add it to. It'll change it to the color of that calendar. So that's how you create an event and add it to a specific calendar, but there are a lot more things you can do. So instead of clicking save, we are going to add a document to this event. So I'm going to go to more options right next to the save button. And so you have a lot more options. But if you go over to the left-hand side where I'm moving, you see this add description box. Right above where it says add description, you see the little paper clip, and that's where you can add an attachment. Now I'm going to go ahead and add an attachment, and I'm going to search for it. I'm going to put tennis tryouts agenda. That's what I want to put in there. So I'm going to click on that, and it'll immediately add it to that, and that adds it to the event as a whole. And then I'm just going to click save. Now I have my event here. Then I'm going to add another event. Okay. Oh, we're going to move that down just a wee bit. Nope. There we go. So 11 to 1, and this is women's tennis tryouts. Okay. And again, add guests or add a location. Okay. I don't want it on this calendar. I want it on my tennis calendar. So I'm going to click the button next to the little baby calendar down here and go to NHS Tennis, right? But I need more options still because I need to attach that same document to the women's tryouts. So I'm going to go over here to the left where it says Add Attachment. Click on that and find Tennis Tryouts Agenda and select it. And then that way you have the document in there, you have where it is, you have the times. So when people view this event on your calendar or you invite them to it, then they have all the information they need and they know when to get there and everything like that. You can also add pictures by adding an attachment, and inviting people is really easy. So where it says guests over here on the right, you can just start typing names and there's a guest added. It'll automatically do the Hangouts Meet. I do not want to do that. We'll just remove that conference. And then that way, there's no weird thing about videoing people. So that's all you need to know for Google Calendar. And then you just hit save, send, and that's it. A way you can change the colors, because this one matches all of these. So I'm going to change the color of my New Hope High School Tennis. And you click on just the 3 little dots next to the calendar, the name of the calendar, and you can change that color. We'll change it to red there. So now I have all of my calendars showing and I know exactly what's going on. So we have created a calendar. We have created an event. We have added a document to the event, a location to the event, and we have invited people to the event. So those are just the basics of Google Calendar. If you have any more specific questions, please feel free to ask me.